Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. This one's going to be doing our death predictions video for the penultimate episode of the Walking Dead show. Who do we think is going to survive, and who do we think will not make it out? Alright guys, this one's going to be doing another video today, this one's going to be doing another video for today, this one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today. This one, we're going to be doing our death predictions for the penultimate episode of the Walking Dead television series. So, this one is one I had to go ahead and do. Walking Dead is coming down to its final 2 episodes, which the penultimate is literally going to be this Sunday. Cannot believe that. Cannot believe The Walking Dead is winding down. We're also in November now, which means that we are in the final month of The Walking Dead. In 20 days, 19 days, we're going to see the series finale of The Walking Dead. Oh man, that is freaking insane. So let that sink in for a minute. That kind of got caught me off guard today when I realized I'm like, oh yeah, it's November 1st. Now whatever, new month, new. Oh, it's like, oh shit, this is the final month of The Walking Dead. So yeah, it's a very special month for sure. But anyway, let's get into our death predictions for the penultimate episode of The Walking Dead. So, this is strictly for episode 23, so make sure to know that. This is only my death predictions for the second to last episode. Death predictions for the series finale we'll be doing next week, but just for this week, we're just focusing on episode 23. So, who do I think is going to die in 23? First of all, do I think anybody's going to die in episode 23? Yeah, I definitely do, because it's a penultimate episode. I would be very surprised if The Walking Dead didn't kill anybody in their penultimate episode. Hell, I'm already surprised that we've really not had that many deaths in the final season of The Walking Dead, which has been one of my biggest criticisms with the final season. So, that being said, let's run down through, our group. Let's kind of go through everybody. And if there's characters that we don't mention in this video, it's more than likely because I just don't think they're going to have much of an impact on the episode, or I just don't think that character's going to die. So if they're not mentioned, I more than likely do not assume they're going to die, right? Because they're not worth mentioning, right? Because I think they're either safe or they're just not big enough characters. So anyway, the 4 we can rule out right now are Daryl, Negan, Maggie, and Carol. Those 4 are not going to die. Absolutely not going to die. Now, first one I want to start with is Father Gabriel. Father Gabriel, I know, has been a really, really tough one throughout basically the entire series. And I don't really think that Gabriel is necessarily going to die in the penultimate, just because I feel like they've built him up in a way where, they've kept him alive so long that I feel like he will at least make it to the finale. That's just kind of my prediction. I think he'll make it to the finale, at least for this episode. I don't think he's going to die. If he dies, it'll be the series finale. That's what I think. Now, another one we got is Rosita. Rosita, I've seen a lot of footage in the trailers of her. She's kind of like jumping over buildings, and she's like, almost dying from a herd of walkers. I could see a scenario in the series finale where she could die, but at least in the penultimate episode, I don't think she's going to die in 23. Another one is Eugene. Now, Eugene just got out of the court thing, so I don't think they're going to kill Eugene either. I don't think they're going to kill Eugene right after a scenario like that, and I think Eugene will escape with the others. Plus, we also see him running in the crowd where they're about to fight the variant horde as well, too, where you see, like, Ezekiel and the rest, and they're like, fall back, fall back. So, I don't think Eugene will die either. Ezekiel now. That one's an interesting one, but I still don't think Ezekiel will die yet. I think Ezekiel will survive Walking Dead, to be honest, but at least for 23, I don't think Ezekiel will die either. Man, it's not going good so far. Not many deaths yet. But I'm going to break into my first one now. Pamela. I think Pamela will absolutely die in episode 23. Now, again, this is a villain death. This is not a heroic from, our hero's death. So, Pamela, I definitely think will die in 23, but I don't think that that is enough to satisfy for a penultimate episode. Now, Mercer obviously has also flipped, and I think Mercer will definitely survive. I don't think they would make him flip just to have him die. And I still think that they're going to go very comic accurate on this. I think Mercer will survive The Walking Dead. Now, Max, his sister, is an interesting one. I still think that she's going to live just because we do see shots of her in the trailer where she's fighting the dead, and I do believe that's going to be episode 24, so I don't think she's going to be dead. I don't think they're going to kill her in 23. Now, Annie. Now, Annie is an interesting one because Negan we know is safe, but Annie we do not have any kind of info on where she goes, and it also seems very hopeful for Negan that he's going to become a father, and I just feel like in the world of The Walking Dead and the world of what we're, kind of experiencing right now with the Commonwealth, it just doesn't seem feasible to me. It doesn't seem real that Negan will be able to be a father, and that's just how it is, right? And also, if you haven't heard any of the news going on behind the scenes, we've also had info, this was many, many months ago now too, that Hillary Burton is supposed to be in episode 23. That's right. The actress for Lucille, the real-life wife of Jeffrey D. Morgan, is supposed to apparently be evidently in episode 23. So when I hear that, and then I'm watching Annie, and I'm watching them, talk about Negan be a father, I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think Annie's going to survive. So she's another one I'm adding to my death predictions for 23. Now, the big ones right now, the big players, because the rest of our group, like, Connie, Kelly, Yumiko, Magna, like a lot of them I see them fighting the Horde, which I believe is going to be the series finale, right? Because we see so many scenes where they're in that crowd together, and like all of Magna's group is basically there. And like I said, I think that's episode 24, because episode 23 is the battle with the Commonwealth, right? So I think Magna's group in general is in the clearing here, I would say. Now, okay, the group that's out there right now, you've got Lydia, you've got Aaron, you've got Jerry, you've got Luke, you've got Jules, and you've got Elijah. Now, someone in this crew has to die. Someone has to die. And Luke and Jules, as much as I know a lot of people are predicting it, I want them two to survive. I think them returning and just to be killed would be very lackluster. So I think Luke and Jules should get out. I actually would like if the two of them, were able to have like some sort of happy ending, because we don't get that too much in Walking Dead. And, Lydia, I don't think they're going to kill Lydia at this point, guys. I thought it for a while, but honestly, I think they're just going to keep her alive. Unfortunately, the character just hasn't done all that much recently, but yeah, I think Lydia is going to be safe, to be honest. I think she's fine. I could see a scenario, though, however, where Elijah dies. Although he's a 50-50, but I might throw him in here as well, too, as a death prediction for 23. I could see a scenario where he sacrifices himself for Lydia. That I could definitely see. Like, Lydia is getting attached to him, Lydia is, like, getting close to him, and then he dies. I could see a scenario like that. Now, the two big players here that I'm watching in this episode are Aaron and Jerry. One of them has to die, and I think it has to be this episode. Now, I'm going to say Jerry's the dead one, and Aaron survives, okay? And this is why I say that. Aaron, I feel like, has been so obvious throughout all of this final season. Like, Aaron's going to die, Aaron's going to die. I don't know how many times I've predicted Aaron's death. Jerry, they've really been giving him a lot of screen time lately. Like, a lot. Like, he's saving the kids. He's making jokes. He's, getting injured. He's the one that, almost got killed by the variant walker. And he's, very, very upfront right now. He's very, like, a big focus. And if they want to break people's hearts in the penultimate episode, not to say that Aaron wouldn't break our hearts, like, I'd be very sad if Aaron died, but Jerry's just such a nice dude. He's such a nice guy, and he really does come through whenever you need the guy, right? And I think that's one of the sacrifices in this penultimate that could really set up the tension for that series finale. So I do think, if I had to make one prediction from that group, I think Jerry will die. I do. Now, in terms of the rest of our characters, like red shirts and villains and others, just from Daryl's crew in general, like, I don't think anybody else is going to die. Like, that's why I'm not even going to go into, like, Alexandria characters and, like, others like that. I just don't think so. I don't really think the rest here are going to be dying in this penultimate episode. So the rest that I haven't mentioned, I don't really think are dead, in my opinion. Aside from, like, red shirts, of course, but because there's a battle, we're going to see that, right? But here are my final predictions for episode 23. These are the ones I'm thinking. Pamela, Annie, Jerry, potentially Elijah. I could definitely see Elijah potentially dying in this one. And I think that will be the most of it. I think them four, Annie, Jerry, Elijah, Pamela. And I think we will potentially see, like, another, maybe we'll get, like, another death that's, like, a cliffhanger in this episode or something. Something like that. But at least for 23, that's where I stand. I don't think 24, obviously 24, we'll do a death predictions next week. But for 23, those are the four characters I'm going to say are dead. And You know, I know a lot of people are probably gonna end up saying in this video too, like, Dan, that's a very bloody episode, but it's a penultimate, right? And given the amount of character deaths we've had in season 11, I definitely think we need at least 3 of these to be real, to be honest. I hate to say it. Pamela, of the most of it, has to die. I really don't want her to go into episode 24. I just don't like her much as a villain. I think that they kind of blew it with Lance, to be honest. I think Lance was a phenomenal villain, and unfortunately they just kind of pushed him out so that Pamela could all of a sudden get the arc when she barely had any screen time in part 2. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like Pamela just needs to die. She sucks, in my opinion. She just kind of sucks, but that's just my opinion, of course. But anyway, now it's time to hear from you guys. Where do your death predictions stand for the series penultimate of The Walking Dead, the second to last episode of the show? Let me know, and of course, that is it for this video, guys. So, of course, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos of The Walking Dead. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead Reviews on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more Walking Dead videos. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
I've heard stories. Walkers that can climb walls and open doors. I was never sure if they were just stories.